Dear students, in our today's class, we are going to discuss about detecting end of the file. It means, think that we are having a file. Okay, take an example of this board only. Whatever the things I have written on the board, consider the complete thing as a single file which contains all these details. Okay, now to detect an end of file means here I have put an end here. It means this is the end of the file. If we continue from here, then this will not become an end. Okay, now I have stopped here. I have stopped writing here. So this is the end of the file. Here what it means, that is detecting end of file. Detecting end of file means finding the end of a file where the file contents has stopped. That is called end of the file. Okay, hope you have understood. I will give you one more example. Take your second PUC textbook. The last page of your textbook, where everything has got ended. Think it as end of a file. Your textbook is a file, and the last thing where everything has stopped, nothing has continued from there, and that thing we can call it as end of file. So now we need to discuss about that end of the file. Now come to the point. We shall move with our point here. While reading the contents of a file, okay, file means it contains something. So while reading that contents of a file, care has to be taken. It means while working with the file, reading means not just like reading a book. Here reading means working with the contents of file. Okay? Reading. This means working with the file, working with the contents of a file. At that time, care has to be taken that working or whatever the operations we are doing, it should not exceed the end of the file, or it should not cross the end of the file. That care has to be taken. Okay, and then the iOS class provides, okay, the iOS class provides member function by name EOF. It is member function. Okay, I have written here, so mark in this place. Member function, okay, by name EOF. EOF means this is end of file member function. Okay. So here one thing we need to remember. So while working with the file, chances may be there we can cross the end of a file while doing operation. So to avoid that accident, to avoid that mistake, what we need to do, we need to make use of EOF member function. That is end of file member function. That is EOF. What's the use of this? If we include in our operations, then come, which helps in, okay, detecting the end of the file. This will help you to detect. Detect means to find out. Detecting the end of the file. EOF member function helps us to detect an end of a file. Once the end of a file is detected, once the EOF, that is end of file, is detected with the use of EOF member function, okay, then we can stop reading further. We can stop reading we can stop our operations to the end of the file. We cannot move forward. Okay, this is what called detecting end of a file. And now come, how can we find out that this is the end of the file? Here EOF helps us by finding the end of file. EOF returns true. True means non-zero. Non-zero means it is 1. Right? 1 is true, 0 is false. Right? As in Boolean algebra and logic gates, 1 is true, 0 is false. Non-zero means it is true. Okay, EOF returns means it gives true or 1. Non-zero means 1. If an end of file is encountered, if end of file is detected, at that time EOF will return, it will give no true, that is 1. While reading, while working with the file, otherwise it returns false, that is 0. End of a file. If EOF does not encountered the end of the file or it does not find the end of the file, it will give the result as false or 0. Once when if EOF finds the end of the file, it will give the result, it will return as true, that is 1. Hope you have understood the concept. Now come, by a short programming procedure, I will make you to understand this detection of file. Here now we are working with a small programming example structure. By this we can understand how EOF will work. See here, if this is conditional statement, if fin dot EOF, okay, if fin finds end of file, at the time the statements will execute. See how it works. This is used to execute set statements, these statements. Okay, on reading the end of file, on reaching the end of the file, represented by the object fin. Okay, these statements will get executed when reaching the end of the file. Okay, and come to next. While not fin, here not operator, there fin dot EOF. This means up to, okay, finding, whenever it does not found the end of line, till that these statements will get executed. Here, this is used to execute set statements as long as end of file fin is not reached. Okay, as long as the end of line has not reached, okay, till that these statements will get executed. So this is how end of file will be operated. Come to the next topic, that is file pointers and their manipulation. What are file pointers and how they can be manipulated? Without taking much time, come to the point. In C++, the file input and output operations are associated with the two file pointers. In C++, the input and output operations are associated with two file pointers. The first is the get pointer and the next one is the put pointer. One is get pointer, another one is the put pointer. Just like what we have discussed. Get member function, put member function, the same way here get pointer and the put pointer. These are synonymous for input pointer and output pointer. They are closely related for input pointer and output pointer. Synonymous means they are very closely related to input pointer and output pointer respectively. They are useful in traversing the opened file while reading or writing. Traversing, as we have discussed in data structures, create, destroy, traverse, okay, and delete, all these things. So here they are useful for traversing the open file while reading and writing. And now there are mainly 2 points. One is the get pointer, the next one is the put pointer. Come, we shall see how get pointer will work and how the put pointer will work. Now come here. I have seen like ice cream, okay, has a pointer known as get pointer, okay, that points to the element. What this get pointer will do? It points to the element to be read in the next input operation. To be read means wanted to read or want to read. Okay, this get pointer will show that element which you want to read while doing input operations. Hope you have understood. And the next OF string, like O string has a pointer known as put pointer, having a put pointer. What this will do? This will point to the location. This will point to the location where the next element has to be returned. Think, if I have left something in between in and traversing, okay, now I want to put something in between these two. So this is the location where I want to write something. So at that time, what put pointer will do? It will show the location where the next element or the next thing has to be written. What the get pointer will do? This will point you to the element which you want to read. But put pointer, what it will do? It will show you the location where you want to write your element. Okay, this is what about get pointer and the put pointer. Now we are discussing about the types of opening a file, modes of opening a file, and the member functions which are used for put pointer and get pointer. Here there are 3 modes under which we can open a file. One is read only mode, the next one is write only mode, and the last one is the append mode. There are 3 type modes of opening a file. If we are having one file, just we want to read at the time, we can open the file in just read only mode, okay. And if you want to do any operations on the file, if you want to do any corrections or changes in the file, then at that time we will use the write only mode file. And the same way, append mode, to add anything to the end of the file, then that is the append mode. And next, there are 2 input and output operations, mainly put pointer and the get pointers. So those 2 put and get pointers, that is the internal string pointers that point to the reading and writing locations. For it, the pointer which points to the reading location is the get pointer, and the pointer which points to the writing location is the put pointer. Here within a string can be manipulated using the following member functions. They can be put pointer and get pointer can be manipulated using the following member function, that is seek G and seek B, tell G and tell B. Seek G, seek B, tell G and tell B. So hope you have understood these types and modes. In our next class, we will going to discuss these things individually. What is meant by read only mode and how it works. What is meant by write only mode or append mode, how they work. What is seek G, seek B and how they work. What are tell G and tell B and how they work. All these things we will going to discuss in our next class. If you have any doubts regarding today's class, dear students, you can ask me personally. Thank you.